Good day, everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the fire emergencies. So when we say about fire, so it has a harmful effect, and at the same time there are also good effects of fire. But for today, what we are going to discuss is all about the effects of fire in our life. So we are going to tackle about these objectives. We have defining fire emergency, and we are going to discuss about how to use also the fire extinguisher and the elements of fire emergency, cases of fire emergency, and the methods of extinguishing fire.
So what is fire? As we have learned in the video discussion of Mr. Servida, fire is a burning characterized by the heat and light of combustion. Rapid, self-sustaining oxidation process accompanied by the evolution of heat and light of varying intensity. And when we talk about hazard, fire itself may cause an emergency or fire may become an additional hazard caused by a disaster or emergency and become hazardous to health due to gas leakage, electric faults, and failure of fire containment measures. So let us talk what is fire emergency. So this is a situation in which fire may cause death or severe injury. So here is an example of a fire emergency situation. So as you can see in the first picture, na ay namatay, and the second picture is na-injury nga gitabang og mga firemen.
So let us discuss here the triangle of fire. So as you can see here, the triangle of fire has oxygen, heat, and fuel. So this is the old method na gigamit sa mga firemen or kita to identify and how the fire is created. Today, ang gina-use na nato na bag-o nga method is ang fire tetrahedron. Let us identify here each part of any method. Yes, we have here first the oxidizing agents. So these are the materials that yield oxygen or other oxidizing gases during the course of a chemical reaction. So oxidizing agent is kaning mga combustible na materials so nga makapastart sa fire. Just example ni ano niya is the oxygen. So mo siya ang common oxidizer in creating a fire. So next in this diagram is we have the fuel. So it is the material or substance that's being oxidized or burned in the combustion process. Most common fuels contain carbon along with combinations of hydrogen and oxygen. So these fuels can be further broken down into hydrocarbon-based fuels such as gasoline, fuel, oil and plastics, and cellulose-based materials such as wood and paper. So they may be found in any of these three states of matter. So we have a solid fuel, we also have liquid fuel, and gas fuel. So we have here the heat. It is a form of energy that may be described as a condition of matter in motion caused by the movement of molecules. So all matter contains some heat regardless of how low the temperature is because the molecules are constantly moving all the time. So when a body of matter is heated, the speed of the molecules increases, thus the temperature increases as well. So anything that sets the molecules material in motion produces heat in that material. So there are actually four general categories of heat energy, and they include the chemical heat energy, electrical, mechanical, and nuclear heat energy. So we have here the last one, the self-sustaining chemical chain reaction. So this is a complex sequence of the chemical reaction of these three elements, the oxidizing agent, fuel, and the heat. This is produced in a form of glow or flames. So it's a self-sustaining process of rapid oxidation such as detonations and explosions. So it explains here the continuous action between the three elements for fire to become self-sustaining.
So in this video, we will talk about the stages of fire. So the first stage is incipient phase or ignition. Mo ni siya ang phase nga kanang padung pa mo build up ang fire. So the second is the growth stage. So mao ni siya nga stage nga the flame will slightly increase. So as you can see in the video, so nagkaanam-anam na og saka or kusog ang kayo. So the auto ignition stage in the video, mao na ni siya ang kanang nagkahinay-hinay na og katay ang fire sa room. So kani nga stage mao ni siya nga bisag wala pa naigo ang pika surface or any surface sa room mo auto ignite na ang fire because sa heat or kainiton sa kayo. So as you can see in the video nga ning katag na gid ang kayo nga ning saka na gid mao ni siya ang free burning phase or fully developed stage. So makita sa video nga dako na gid ang kayo nga saka na gid siya adong na siya cover tibuok room. So as you can see in the video ang kayo is nara gid sa babaw. So if you are in a burning building or in a burning room, you need to crawl down because 8 to 10 inches from the ground is fresh, cool air. And the last one is smoldering phase or decay stage. So this stage is wala siya nakita sa video. In this stage, the room becomes completely filled with dense smoke and gases. And the fire will continue to smolder and the room will completely fill with dense smoke and gases of combustion. So, classes of fire. So, there are 5 classes of fire. So, the first one is Class A. Class A fire. Mao ni siya ang ordinary combustible materials such as wood, cloth, paper, rubber, and many plastics. So, Class B fire is a flammable and combustible liquids, greases, and gases. So, Class C fire, mao ni siya ang energized electrical equipment. And Class D fire, mao ni siya ang combustible metals such as magnesium, titanium, zirconium, sodium, and potassium. And the last one is Class K fire, mao ni siya ang used for cooking, such as vegetable or animal fats.
So let us move on to the methods of heat transfer. So we have here the conduction, convection, and radiation. So for conduction, the heat may be conducted from one body to another by direct contact of the two bodies or by heat conducting medium. So for convection, this is the transfer of heat by the movement of air or liquid. And for the radiation, the heat is conducted from the direct contact of heat from the sun. So we have here the extinguishment theory. So first, we have here the cooling process. This is the process where there is a reduction of temperature. So they use, just like for example, when a fireman is trying to extinguish a fire, so they will not directly pour the water to the heat or to the fire. So they will cool first the neighboring houses so that they can prevent them from catching fire as well. So that is the method of cooling that firemen practice. We have here the next theory, the starvation. It is the process of removing fuel. Next is we have the smothering, or this is what we also call blanketing. So it is excluding oxygen. So if makabantay mo, if na ay object nga makakatch of fire, imo dayon siyang tabunan of something. Like for example, kanang wet blanket, or for example, kanang sand. So those can be used for excluding oxygen from fire. So the last theory is a chemical flame inhibition. So this is the extinguishment theory wherein we use dry chemicals to extinguish fire, such as using portable fire extinguisher. So these are the extinguishing agents that we can use to extinguish fire. So we can use water, and we have here CO2, which is actually no longer recommended because of the harmful effects to the environment. And we also have the sand, which we discussed earlier, what we use for smothering. We have the wet rag, foam. These are actually used by firemen to mix with water. This is what they use during the operation when there are big fires or rescuing. We also have your dry chemical powder, and this is we can also see this or when we use fire extinguishers. So we have the improvised fire extinguisher like mixing baking soda, water, vinegar, dishwashing liquid soap. So we are going to discuss here the portable fire extinguisher. So as you can see in this illustration, so this is how a portable fire extinguisher looks like. But please do note that fire extinguisher or portable fire extinguisher is actually not recommended if the fire is already too big and it's already reaching the ceiling. So in this illustration, you can see here the parts of the portable fire extinguisher. You can see the pressure gauge, inspection tab, the hose, the cylinder, the nozzle, operation lever, handle, safety pin, and the label. But don't worry, I will go ahead and show you later on the real picture of a portable fire extinguisher that we can find outside the room. Alright, so this is the fire extinguisher that we can find outside the room. So I am going to tell you the names of each part of the portable fire extinguisher. So this is the operation lever, and this one here is the handle, and you can see here our safety pin. So you have to pull it off so that you can press the handle and the lever together. And this is the inspection tab. So all fire extinguishers has inspection tab, and it has a sign of the authorized person that this is approved to be used. And this is the cylinder, and you can see here the label. And if ever you forgot how to use the fire extinguisher, then you can just read the label here. And this is the hose, and this is the nozzle. Alright, so how to use the fire extinguisher? So you have to always remember the word PASS. So this acronym will help you a lot in remembering on how to use the fire extinguisher, and you do not have to panic. It's only 4 letters. First, letter P, you have to pull the pin. Second, aim the nozzle, hold it properly, and then you squeeze the handle and you sweep it from the baseline side to side. So how far is the distance of the fire extinguisher and the fire that you are going to extinguish? We should always remember that it is always 3 to 5 meters distance from the fire. So look at this picture. So this is a picture of a man using the portable fire extinguisher. So you can see here the man is properly using the fire extinguisher using the PASS acronym, and he is also 3 to 5 meters away from the fire. So observe on this picture. So the dry chemicals is coming out of the portable fire extinguisher. So what will you do if you catch a fire on your clothes? So you do not run. Okay, so first you have to stop and then drop to the ground and roll your body. So you can see in this picture, first picture, we have here the man running, but you have to stop. You do not have to run. You do not panic. So you drop on the floor and then you roll your body until the fire is gone. So to our next discussion, we are going to tackle here the evacuation plan. So what will you do in case of a fire emergency if you are stuck inside a room burning in fire? Okay, so you have to find a blanket. You have to wet the blanket and then cover yourself with a wet blanket and rush to the door. You have to rush to the door only if it is safe for you. But if it is not safe, you have to go back inside the room. You have to look for another exit that is safe for you to go out and then exit safely. So here's another scenario. So what if you are living in a high floor building? So there's no other way except for the window because you do not go outside the door and then go rush through the fire inside the building. So what you're going to do is you have to open a window in your room. So open it a little and place something outside the window that could identify that you are trapped inside the room. So whenever the rescuers come, they will be able to identify that there's a person stuck in that floor. And then the rescue will come go find the room and help you out of the burning building. Here is another scenario as well. For example, you are trapped inside a room filled with smoke and fire. So normally the fire will really go through the upper part of the room. So in that case, you can observe that the fire is not on the ground. So you have to crawl down because 8 to 10 inches from the ground is fresh air and is safe for you to breathe. So you have to crawl down and find the exit. So how can you find the exit if you are crawling down inside the burning room? So you have to use the back of your hand to feel the wall. So the wall will guide you through the door. So what is bucket brigade? So I know you are already familiar about this because if there is a calamity, for example of fire, and we are still waiting for firemen to come, so civilians or people will help each other gather water so that they can eliminate a little of the fire and prevent it from spreading to the neighborhood. So bucket brigade is men form one line leading from water supply and pass buckets of water to throw on the fire. So it is a passing of water from one man to another until they reach the fire and throw the water in the fire. So women, children, men form another line sending empty buckets back to be filled. So it is a very slow way to put out a fire and many homes burn to the ground before they could be saved. But at least it is a remedy in case that the fireman or rescue will take time to gather in the area. So remember the cadre keywords for safety. C is for conscious prevention, A for awareness, D for detection of fire, and R response or reaction. We should always remember this for safety.
So let's move on to EDIT, which is exit drills in the home. So as you can see in the picture na, siya yung home fire escape plan. So you need to draw a plan of your home and find at least 2 ways out of every room, including doors, windows, and any other way you could use to get out. Make an escape plan and talk about your exit route, changing where the fire is located and different hazards that might be there. So practice your escape plan by having fire drills with your family at least twice a year. So if a fire does occur, check the door for heat and stay low to the floor where the air is cleaner and cooler. So if you are trapped, close the doors between you and the fire and stuff the cracks with something to keep the smoke out. If there is a phone in the room, call 911 and let them know exactly where you are in the house. Signal to the outside with a sheet or flashlight until there is someone to help you. And don't try to rescue pets or possessions. Instead, go straight to your designated meeting place and decide on a meeting place outside of your home where the whole family can meet. This will allow you to account for everyone and inform the department if anyone is missing. This place can be anything from a neighbor's driveway to a tree or to a mailbox. And once you exit safely from the building, under no circumstance you should go back into a burning building. Many people have died while going back in and trying to save something or someone. And lastly, dial 911 from a neighbor's house or a phone outside of the burning building.
good evening everyone. I'm Inocellas Clark and this time I'm going to present my topic and my topic is earthquake drill. And first is the importance of earthquake drill. Preparedness. Earthquake drill can strike without warning causing widespread destruction and loss of life. Conducting regular drills help communities, organizations, and individuals to be prepared of such for event. It enables people to practice the appropriate response actions such as drop, cover, and hold, or evacuating to safe areas, which can significantly increase their chances to survival during the earthquake drill. So, importante kaayo nga ma-prepared ta kay para once nga naay earthquake nga mahitabo, so kabalo na ta kung unsay mga dapat nga buhaton or unsay angay nga pagabuhaton og dili na ta maratol, dili na ta mapanik, dili na ta makulbaan kay kabalo naman ta kung unsay angay nga buhaton once nga naay earthquake. Key points to understand about earthquake. Causes. Most earthquakes are caused by the movement of tectonic plates. When stress build up along a fault line due to movement and collisions of these plates, it eventually exceeds the strength of rocks holding them together. This leads to the sudden release of the energy resulting in an earthquake. Other causes of earthquake include volcanic activity, lands, and human indoor activities like mining or severe endosymensity. So, ang uban nga mga causes sa mga earthquake is like naibubuto nga vulkan or di ka mga activities like mining or di ka landslide. So, dapat kung example na ata sa mga bukid-bukid, so dapat nga once nga naay mo maka-feel tag shaking, so dapat nga kibaw ta kung sa atong buhaton ug dapat pod important is prepare jud ta permanente. The next is earthquake preparedness. Create an emergency plan, develop a comprehensive emergency plan for yourself, your family, and your organization. This plan should include evacuation route, designated meeting place, and communication strategies. Assign responsibilities to each family member to or team member to ensure everyone knows what to do during an earthquake. So, dapat mag-create ta og earthquake earthquake emergency plan. Like, na kung kita mga pamilya or mga neighbor nato, so dapat maghimo ta og or di ba mag-meeting kung unsay dapat nga buhaton or di ka mag earthquake kuan kay siyang practice mga para nag hold, cover and kuan siyang sa diha og kana siyang dapat planuhan kung asa dapat mo evacuate once nga naay earthquake. Then next is drop, cover, and hold. Then one is drop. When you feel shaking, start immediately drop down to your hands and knees. This position helps you to stay balanced and prevent you from being knocked over the shaking. So once ka na makabati or di ka maka-feel ka og shaking, so dapat ang imong unang nga buhaton is drop. So makatabang ni siya para dili ka malamba or dili ka ma o lamba sa samtang naglakaw ka. So dapat mo drop then imo i-cover ang imong nga kamot diha or unsa pa na. Then cover. Take cover under the southerly piece of furniture such as table, desk, or bed. Protecting yourself under furniture can shield you from falling objects and provide a safe space if there is no furniture nearby. Cover your head and neck, your arms, and seek shelter against and interior walls away from windows. So, ikaduha ni mga buhaton is cover, then mutago ka sa mga mutago ka sa sa mga table or desk ka or sa imong bed. Then dapat kung wala kay makit-an ana is dapat palayo ka sa mga bintana or mga window ka imposible nga ma mabuak kay delikado pud na siya. Then hold on. Hold on to your sheltering position until the shaking stops. This help you maintain your protection and prevent you from being jostled or moving around during the earthquake. So hold on. So dapat kung kibaw ka nga safe ka diha is diha ra jud ka nga dili ka mo balhin sa lain kay wala ka kibalo kung unsay mahitabo. Kung safe ka diha diha ra jud ka. Then is evacuation procedure. So one is assess the situation. First, assess the immediate environment around you. If you are indoors, quickly evaluate the stability of the building. If you notice significant structural damage such as crack in walls or ceiling, or if you hear cracking or groaning sounds, is maybe safer to evacuate. So kung naka sa mga building baron or di ka nakasulod sa inyong balay, nya kung maka-feel ka og like feeling nimo like ni crack ang mga walls, so dapat ang may nga imbuhaton is mo evacuate na lang or magawas inyong balay. Lastly, is conclusion. Being prepared for an earthquake is essential for minimizing risks and ensuring the safety of yourself and your loved ones. By creating an emergency plan, preparing an emergency kit, securing heavy items, identifying safe paths, knowing how to shut off utilities, staying informed, practicing drop, cover, and hold on, staying indoors, staying indoors during the quake, planning for aftershock, and securing your home's structure, you can increase your readiness and resilience in the face of the earthquake. Take unnecessary steps today to better prepared for any seismic event that may occur in the future. So, dapat nga karon pa lang is kabalo na ta kung unsay buhaton once nga mag-earthquake. So, dapat ang drop, cover, and hold is dapat ato na siyang practicean o ato na siyang i-familiarize. O dapat pod nga once nga mag-earthquake is dili ta mabalaka, dili ta maratol or sa panadinha kay once nga maratol ta wala ta kibaw kung sa ato buhaton ma-aksidente na hinuon ta. So mao ra to og thank you.
Earthquake is a weak to violent shaking of the ground produced by the sudden movement of rock materials below the Earth's surface. The earthquakes originate in tectonic plate boundary.
Oh, good day everyone. I'm Roosevelt Alfanta from 1-1 Evening. For this video I wanna show you how to prevent earthquake drill at home.
First thing to do is you need to prepare a survival kit like bandage, medicine, lights, batteries, water, alcohol, betadine, and radio. Don't leave heavy objectives in shelves. There are possibility to fall in earthquake. This is the possible during an earthquake. Duck, cover, and hold. And don't forget to stay calm and don't panic. Expect that there are some aftershock. Don't forget to check your body injuries. As soon as the shaking stops, you need to go outside as fastest as you can and go to the safety place away from trees.
Today, I will discuss about the basic life support and the first aid. Basic life support. Basic life support. Basic life support is a level of first aid resuscitation that can be used in emergency situations until victims are placed into the care of medical professionals. Life-saving techniques offer individuals the ability to survive and save others during difficult, life-threatening situations. When it comes to saving lives, any life-saving skills becomes quite useful. Life is quite uncertain as the unexpected usually happens when an individual life is at risk. The lack of necessary life-saving techniques result in panic. In other cases, people die when attended to by unskilled persons. First aid. First aid is defined as help provided to an injured person or a sick individual until the rescue was ongoing. One of the most important aspects that I learned is first aid is provided based on the kind of medical condition one is experiencing. Therefore, for one to be good first aider, one must have a knowledge to handle different medical conditions. I found this is a bit challenging, especially due to the procedure. Moreover, there is no chance for mistakes in any first aid procedure. Mistakes might result in death even if you're wrong for the situations. First aid practice is also a bit challenging, even though that one can only perfect the first aid skills by going around with the first aid procedures notes to confirm the steps. However, maybe with the practice one would be able to master the procedure. Generally, safety and first aid demonstration is very important in the life of the person and the society that will be surrounding the person in the future. For enhanced development of fever or inserting objects in the ear or nose, knowing how to handle such situations makes me more courageous to find my future as a parent. It also gives me the joy of knowing that I can save someone's life in critical situation. This basic life-saving gives me something that I can be proud of in my life. Although the step seems a bit demanding, it is so nerve-wracking, being an individual. It is the course that almost fits the emergency department in the hospital, a course that eases patient pains and gives them a chance of living again. Goals of first aid. First save life. Prevent injuries from getting worse. Relieve pain. Aid recovery. And lastly, protect the unconscious. The chain of survival. The first link or early access is initiated immediately after the patient collapses. It entails calling the local emergency number as quickly as possible and giving the hotline as much vital information as you can about the emergency. The second link or early CPR is initiated while waiting for the arrival of emergency medical service personnel who are trained to provide care. The probability of survival approximately doubles when it's done before the arrival of EMS. The third link or early deliberation is most likely to improve survival. It is the key intervention to increase the chance of survival of the patient outside without hospital care. The fourth link or early advanced care is provided by highly trained EMS personnel and paramedics who monitor the patients closely on the way to the hospital.
Emergencies can happen anywhere, so it is important to know how to provide basic life support care. As you approach the scene of an emergency event, check your surroundings to ensure that they are safe, and only kneel beside the victim after that. Tap the victim's shoulder and shout, "Are you okay?" If the victim is unresponsive and you are alone, call for help and check for breathing. Open the victim's airway. Use the head tilt and chin lift technique. Press down on the forehead with one hand while pulling up on the chin with the other hand. Gently tilt the head back. When checking for breathing, listen for sounds of breathing, feel for exhalation on your cheek, and look to see if the victim's chest is rising and falling. This is the look, listen, and feel approach. Checking for breathing should take no more than 10 seconds. Breathing is considered normal if the victim takes at least 2 normal breaths within 10 seconds. If the victim is not breathing and there is another rescuer, ask him or her to call an ambulance. If you're alone, call one yourself. The emergency medical dispatcher will give you instructions on how to provide cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Place the victim in a supine or face-up position on a firm, flat surface. Kneel at the victim's side. Place one hand on top of the other and interlace your fingers. Place the heel of your hand in the center of the victim's chest on the lower half of the breastbone. Position your shoulders directly over your hands. Keep your arms straight and lock your elbows. Compress the chest 30 times to a depth of 5 to 6 centimeters. Then, allow for full chest recoil. Chest compressions should be steady and fast, performed at a rate of twice a second. You can even count if it helps. "30 chest compressions are followed by 2 ventilations. To deliver ventilations, tilt the victim's head back and pinch the nose shut. Take a normal breath and blow into the victim's mouth. Watch for the chest to return to its normal position while taking another breath. Repeat this sequence. Minimize interruptions in chest compressions to last no more than 5 seconds. Alternate the 30 chest compressions and the 2 ventilations until help arrives. If you have another rescuer with you, switch positions every 2 to 3 minutes, because providing CPR is tiring and you can become less effective. When you see signs of the victim regaining consciousness, such as breathing, coughing, or moving purposefully, stop CPR and put the victim in a recovery position.
Cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, is a life-saving technique that's useful in many emergencies, such as a heart attack or near drowning, in which someone breathing or heartbeat has stopped. The American Heart Association recommends starting CPR with hard and fast chest compressions. The hands-only CPR recommendation applies to both untrained bystander and first responders. Before you begin, is the environment safe for the person? Is the person conscious or unconscious? If the person appears unconscious, tap or shake his or her shoulder and ask loudly, "Are you okay?" If the person doesn't respond and you with other person who can help, have one person call 911 or other emergency number and get the EED. If one is available, have the other person begin CPR. If you are alone and have immediate access to a telephone, call 911 or your local emergency number before beginning CPR. As soon as EED is available, deliver and shock if instructed by the device, then begin CPR. Remember to spell CEB. The American Heart Association used the letter CEB to help people remember order to perform the CPR. C for compression, A for airway, and B for breathing. C compressions restore blood flow. Compressions means you'll use your hand to push down hard and fast in a specific way on the person's chest. Compressions are the most important step in CPR. A for airway. Open the airway if you're trained in CPR and you perform 30 chest compressions. Open the person's airway by using the head tilt, chin lift maneuver, Put your palm on the person's forehead and gently tilt the head back. Then with the other hand, gently lift the chin forward to open the airway. B for breathing. Breath for the person. Rescue breath can be mouth-to-mouth breathing or mouth-to-nose breathing if the mouth is seriously injured or can't be opened. Currently, recommendations suggest performing rescue breath using a bag mask device with a high efficiently particulate air. What is the helmet maneuver? Each year, many people die from choking on objects that obstruct their airway and cause suffocation. Choking is the fourth leading cause of unintentional death. However, there is a simple technique you can use to help expel a trapped object from other person's airway. You can even use a version of this technique on yourself. How to perform the helmet maneuver? The steps you need to perform a helmet maneuver depend on who you're aiding. Another person who isn't pregnant or infant, under a year old. A pregnant woman or an infant. Yourself. Regardless of whom you perform the maneuver, on that person should still get medical help afterward. This is ensure no physical damage has occurred to their throat and airways. Step 1. Get the person to stand up. Step 2. Position yourself behind the person. Step 3. Lean the person forward and give 5 blows to their back with the heel of your hand. Step 4. Place your arms around their waist. Step 5. Make a fist and place it just above the navel, thumbs side in. Step 6. Grab the fist with your other hand and push it inward and upward. At the same time, perform 5 of these abdominal thrusts. Step 7. Repeat until the object is expelled and the person can breathe or cough on their own. Before you try to stop bleeding, wash your hand well with soap and water if available. Put on medical gloves if available before applying direct pressure to the wound. If gloves are not available, use many layers of clean cloth, plastic bags, or the cleanest material available between your hand and the wound. Have the injured person hold direct pressure on the wound if possible and elevate the injured area. Use your bare hands to apply direct pressure only at last resort.
First aid for fractures and dislocations. A dislocation occurs when two bones slip out of place at the joint that connects them. It's usually caused by a sudden impact from a blow, fall, or other trauma. You can dislocate almost any joint in your body, your ankles, knees, shoulders, hips, elbows, or jaw. You can even dislocate your finger and toe joints. The application of splints is a technique used in the treatment of fractures, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Splints are rigid or semi-rigid devices that are used to immobilize and support an injured limb or joint. The primary goal of splinting is to prevent further damage to the affected area and promote healing. When a bone is fractured or a joint is dislocated, immobilizing the affected area can help reduce pain, prevent further damage, and promote healing. In the case of sprains and strains, splinting can help reduce swelling and provide support to the injured area, allowing it to heal properly. Splints can be made from a variety of materials, including plaster, fiberglass, metal, or plastic. They can be pre-made or custom-made to fit the specific area of injury. Also, proper placement of the splint is important to ensure that the affected area is immobilized and the injured is properly supported. A healthcare provider or trained first responder should apply the splint to ensure that it is done correctly and prevent further damage. Next is physical exam. A physical exam is an evaluation of your overall health. A primary care provider performs a physical exam. This exam focuses on preventive care, so you can get to good health or maintain it. If your provider suspects a health concern or you have a concern, they may refer you to see a specialist or offer tests to learn more about your symptoms. You don't have to be ill to get a physical exam. And also, example of physical examination is touching or palpating parts of your body, like your abdomen, to feel for abnormalities, checking skin, hair, and nails, possibly examining your genitalia and rectum, and also testing your motor functions and reflexes. That's all, thank you.
Good day, everyone. Today we are going to tackle our learnings about environmental protection and management in this semester. In our discussion, we are going to talk about what is environmental protection and management all about, its objectives, the reason why environmental protection and management is important, the examples of environmental protection and management. The fifth one is the benefit of protecting the environment to the future generation. And lastly, the major environmental laws in the Philippines. Now, let's start with a proper discussion. Let's start with this one. So what is environmental protection and management? What comes in your mind? So, environmental protection and management, this has three words of being combined, which environmental from the word environment. It refers to the surrounding or the condition in which persons, animals, or plants are to operate. So it is where all of us survive and live or palibot in our vernacular. And also the word protection, which means to protect or to keep something or someone safe. So ang pag-amping. And lastly, we have the management. Is a multifaceted and multidisciplinary practice that aims at safeguard nature from potentially damaging the resources. So to generalize, environmental protection and management is keeping our environment safe to live in. Environmental protection and management also mean a practice of protecting the natural environment by individuals, organization, and government. So kaning individuals, nag-refer sila to tagsa-tagsa nga mga tao. And then the organization or the group of individuals that are united in keeping our surroundings or the environment safe, and also the government which they give guidance in protecting our environment. So environmental protection and management is also the process of safeguarding the environment by monitoring the human interaction with their environment and the various components and components in them. So environmental protection and management can also be defined as the prevention of unwanted changes to ecosystem under constituent part. So it means when someone or an organization or a government prevents or sa Bisaya pa ang pagpugong sa gustong kausaban, maghatag og kadaot sa atong katilingban. And that is the answer to the question, what is environmental protection and management all about? And to further discussion or explain, let's see the other slide. Objectives of environmental protection and management. First, we have conserve natural resources and existing natural environment. Conservation of natural resources is essential to protecting the existing natural environment and its ecosystem. It is important to protect and preserve the environment by reducing the use of natural resources and limiting human activities that can be negative impact or have harmful impact on the environment. This can include reducing waste, conserving energy and water, reducing air and water pollution, protecting wildlife habitats, and protecting endangered species. Additionally, natural resources conserves involves choosing alternatives to natural resources such as renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind energy, and using renewable building material for construction to reduce deforestation and habitat destruction. It also involves improving cultivation, land preservation, and land management to ensure sustainable agricultural and forestry practices. And finally, it involves both government and individual action, such as legislation to regulate human activities and individual initiatives such as volunteering to improve the improvement or the environment and taking part in conservation campaigns. Second, we have to repair damage and reverse trends. Repairing the damage and reversing trends typically involve taking action that goes beyond the status quo. This often involves creating innovative solutions that are tailored to address the specific needs of the situation, such as developing technologies that address environmental damage, implementing policies that focus on revising negative trends in socio-economic departments, or investing in healthcare initiatives that strive to improve outcomes for disadvantaged communities. To effectively repair the damage and reverse the trends, it is important to clearly identify the source of the problem and develop strategies to address it that are both long-term and sustainable. Why is environmental protection and management is important? Environmental protection and management help you identify degradation factors and implement strategies to mitigate them. It also helps you predict future impacts of environmental depreciation and initiate process to minimize the effects. It is also the key aim of environmental protection and management is to prevent the degradation of the natural environment, which is affected by increasing population, technology, and overconsumption, all of which are created a negative impact on the environment and to continue to put humans and animals at risk. So, environmental protection and management is important. Kaya nga naman, kung dili nato alagaan ang ato environmental, is unsa pa may atong puy-an? Unsaon pa man nato pagkita og source nga mabuhi ta ning kalibutan na. So, ingana ka importante ang environmental nganong kinahanglan nato siya protektahan.
Hi everyone, my name is Dizon and I'm here in front of you to give you some of examples of environmental. We have the 5 small acts with big impacts to save our Earth. The first one is to reduce, reuse, recycle. The second one is shop wisely. The third one is to conserve water. The fourth one is plant more trees. And the fifth one is the don't throw chemicals into waterways. Why is it very important for us to save our Mother Earth? Our Earth is the only planet with the continuity of life, so it becomes more and more important to generate a sense of urgency of saving our Mother Earth from all sorts of planet-harming activities. Our Mother Earth needs to be saved us. Our survival depends completely on this planet. It is a responsibility to raise awareness about saving our Earth. Earth provides every resource for sustaining living things and inanimate things. Our planet-harming activities are resulting in causing an irreversible damage to the environment, which results in degrading the condition of this planet. By taking care of this planet, we can improve our well-being, as healthy environment will help in improving the quality of our life, It is our collective responsibility to raise public responsibility regarding the well-being of our Mother Earth. We have here the benefits of protecting the environmental protection and management to the future generation. Protecting our environment is the foundation for sustaining our planet, community, and economy. Our environment supports our house's ecosystem, allowing them to grow and thrive. If we fail to protect our environment, we will put the lives of humans, animals, plants, and more in risk or danger. We all are aware of the fact that this is the only planet where life is possible. It is the only home we all have, and that is why it is highly important to take important measures to save this planet. It is time to part our ways from planet-harming activities as for all generations to live a healthier life. It is important to save our planet. One of the basic things that plays essential role in survival of all sorts of living beings is biodiversity. Because of the biodiversity of our planet, we are all able to coexist together. All variety of plants and animals are able to exist together due to diversity of life. Saving our Earth and its environment becomes highly important as it provides us food and water to sustain life. Our well-being solely depends on this planet. It gives food and water to all living things too. It is our responsibility to take care of it. The only way to honor our Mother Earth is by raising awareness about our environment and Mother Earth. By creating balance in our lives and adopting eco-friendly habits, we can make this planet a better, much place to live in. So the last one here, we have the major environmental laws here in the Philippines. The first one is the Republic Act 9003, which is the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. The second one is the Republic Act 9275, which is the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004. The third one is the Republic Act 8749, Philippines Clean Air Act of 1999. The fourth one is the Republic Act 6969, which is the Toxic Substances, Hazardous, and Nuclear Waste Control Act of 1990. The last one is the Presidential Decree 1586, which is the Environmental Impact Statement or EIS Statement of 1978. People around the world need to understand the need of the greener and cleaner planet. We all need to fulfill our responsibilities and make a tremendous effort to protect our Mother Earth from activities that harm the Earth. Thank you.